Anointing David king. I find it interesting that when God is talking to Samuel about David, he says, and looks at his brothers. He says, "Don't look at the outward appearance, how tall a man is or how strong." He says, "I look on the heart." And yet, that wasn't said when they selected Saul as king. Saul was head and shoulders above everyone else, a strong man. What is the difference here? Well, when you come to Saul, he was literally taken out of the field, plowing with 2 oxen, looking for donkeys, right into leading the army and being king of Israel. He needed to be striking. He needed to be tall and strong and bring us a certain amount of confidence. Where with David, well, David had some time. He's probably in his late teens here, or early 20s, probably in his early 20s. And he won't become king for several years. And through that time, he's able to build the confidence of the people. He leads army into victory after victory with the help of the actual king. I mean, when he kills Goliath, that puts him right into a mold of going through a training time. So God is saying here, it's more important to have the right heart than the outward appearance. Now, you need to notice that Jesse, David's father, has 8 sons and 2 daughters, at least 2 daughters, maybe more, but at least we know about 2 of them. This was a warrior family. Each one of David's brothers became warriors in his army. And the 2 daughters. David had 2 commanders, you might say generals, of his army. They came from these 2 daughters. Each one was a son of each of the daughters. And so the whole family was a warrior family. I've noted a few things here about things that David did when he was he was a shepherd. Things that he used in his life as king. First of all, it says he played the harp. He partly made harps and also played them, which of course he would use this as music. Music would be a very part of his life, and he's known for psalms, which is the second thing. He wrote and sang psalms, which would mark his life. But he also made and used the sling, which of course gave him the prominence right away of killing the giant, a future story. Out in the fields with the sheep, making slings, practicing all those boring hours. David wasn't necessarily bored. He either wrote psalms or sang them, or he was using that sling. But also the 4th thing is here, the strategy of how to attack and kill animals. The strategy of war, strategy of how to approach and what exactly to do as he protected his sheep. This was something that David learned. Well, a young man becoming king of Israel, or at least being anointed king. He wasn't become king for a few more years, but a great story. We'll come back next week when we continue on with insights into the stories. We'll see you next week.